Hey there. Want to see what I did? Let's go. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It is a cold day here in North Carolina. So today we're finally going to dig into the GTI and start getting this rear drive gear stuff in. So a couple of noteworthy items before we get started. Number one, I got a new camera. So I'm really excited to start diving into this thing, figuring out all of its little features and stuff, get used to it. Hopefully I can start utilizing it to its maximum potential here shortly, but this is going to be a big learning curve after doing YouTube exclusively from my iPhone for so long. So hopefully you guys notice a difference in the video quality and in the audio quality.
I have this really nice microphone that came with it.
Let's just get right to it. There's a lot of stuff that we're gonna do to this car, and I think so far for day one, let's just get the car in the air and let's take everything off that needs to come off in order to make it all-wheel drive. Step one is going to be taking the trunk apart. Be a little bit easier to do before the car gets up in the air, because we got to cut out the trunk floor on this thing in order to fit our rear Haldex. So let's get this trunk completely taken apart, get the battery out, kill the power, all that sorts of thing, and then we'll get the car up in the air. Alrighty, we have the trunk set up out. Not much left to it, but that's why we made the nice cover. Still tried to wire the, or manage the wiring as best as I could. Thought we did a good job. And so now you can see all the ghosts of trunk setups past. This whole spare wheel well is gonna have to be chopped out. We're just gonna weld in a flat sheet of metal, and that is because the Haldex is going to live here. Now we need to go under the car and just start ripping basically everything out. Exhaust, complete rear subframe, heat shielding, tunnel bracing, and the gas tank. So let's not waste any time and see what we can get done before Oscar wakes up. It's out. It is now day two, and as you can see, things are looking a little bit different than they were just 24 hours ago. So we got some snow, nothing crazy, but for this area in North Carolina, it's pretty uncommon. Where did we get yesterday? We got the trunk setup out. We got most of the exhaust off. We got our rear subframe assembly, complete suspension assembly dropped out of the rear, and off camera, I did some work on our rear differential. I was able to swap out the Haldex filter, the Haldex pump filter, and get all that replaced with new hardware. And then we also have, thank you to the guys and girls at PowerFlex for sending these out. We have their Black Series, so these are their higher durometer polyurethane bushings on all three corners of our differential. So I did that off camera last night. Kind of boring. As you can see, I fought with them for a while. This is only 3 bushings, several pieces. So today we can continue working on the car, and we're gonna get the rest of the exhaust off. We are going to get all the heat shielding and stuff out, and then maybe we can mock up where our drive shaft is supposed to go, so that way we can mock up where our drive shaft center support bearing brackets are supposed to go. There's 2 of these. You can actually still buy these brand new from VW, so there they are. So decent amount of work cut out for us, but I'm just gonna set the camera down and start wrenching away. There we go. Woo! Barely dodged that, but I dodged it. Okay, next up, we need to get these off so we can get this whole heat shield, the heat shield for the tunnel. So it's a bunch of 10s. There we go. Now, finagle this out. Nice. Very nice. I think our next order of business is going to be probably getting this gas tank out of here. Alrighty. Now, before y'all jump into just dropping your gas tank, you do need to remove the rear passenger fender liner and undo some stuff up there for like the fuel filler neck and a couple evap items. I've already gone and done that. So now, in order to drop this tank, you have this main strap here, this big thick silver one. So we've got some lines at the fuel filter that need to come off. That is going to spray fuel everywhere. Our battery is disconnected, so there shouldn't be any like extra pressure on here, but there is going to be fuel that's going to come out. And then we can drop this tank. Let's see if we can manage to not kill ourselves. There we go. Alrighty, so here are our two gas tanks. This is the all-wheel drive gas tank. This is the gas tank that we just dropped out of the GTI, the front-wheel drive one. So first thing I notice immediately is this green evap line that goes to some more evap stuff up in the wheel well is missing from the all-wheel drive one. So sorry, y'all, I'm still figuring this camera out. So we'll have to swap that line over to the all-wheel drive one. And then this has two straps as opposed to this one just having one, and then some hard mounts as well. But everything else looks to be the same. Looks like these lines in the brackets, there's brackets form right here and here. So I'm just gonna clean everything off and start swapping some stuff over. I swapped over the lines, got everything clocked correctly. We have a new fuel filter and fuel pressure regulator. Got this evap line ran all the way up to the top of the filler neck. And so now we are ready to mock this thing up into the car and mark some holes and figure out where we got to drill and riv nut so we can add our all-wheel drive gas tank straps. So let's try and get that set up. All right, before I stick that in, or before I mock that up, we have to cut a huge hole in my car. This is the factory GTI spare wheel well. This fits a full-size spare. Golf R's, because of the Haldex, don't. They have a donut, so they don't have this big recess in the trunk. And the front of it, I would say, maybe the front third or so, is going to interfere with the all-wheel drive. So before we stick that gas tank in, which has fuel, let's we just got a big old hole in my car. The point of no return, right? Like I have to do this now.
You could just run it front-wheel drive with no hole in the back, or with a hole in the back.
Just cut a hole in. All right, we're done.
Yeah.
Should I drape something over that?
Yes. Okay.
going back now, right? It is day 3. I got a little bit more work done off camera on the GTI, so let me kind of catch y'all up, show you what I've done. Number 1, I came in and I cleaned up the edge of our cut. I ground all the paint down about an inch and a half all the way around, and then I hit everything with Steel-It. Those of you who are unfamiliar, Steel-It is actually a weld-through primer, so we can weld right on top of this, and now all of this raw metal is going to be protected from the elements and isn't going to rot away. I've also done the same thing with the area where the center support bearing brackets are going to go. So there's one side, and then the opposite side is going to look the same. Got everything marked up and etched where the bracket is going to go, and then I have gotten rid of all the paint, cleaned it up, and hit it with Steel-It. So there's not a whole lot more I can do until the welder gets here. I'm not a welder. But in the meantime, I figured now is probably as good a time as ever to get the gas tank mocked up and figure out where we're going to have to drill some holes in order to install some riv nuts so we can actually get the gas tank up there with the OEM straps. So I'm going to lower the car a little bit so that way our floor jack can reach, and then we're going to try and mock this gas tank up, see what's going on. Alrighty, show you what we're working with. So this strap on the passenger side of the car mounts up with no modification. Same thing with the fuel filler neck. This is the same strap location as the front wheel drive gas tank. We do have a strap here, or a mount here. However, there's also a strap right here. Now, you can actually see a little provision where there would be some threads, but on this car, they're not cut. So we'll have to tap and drill that. Or, pardon me, I'll have to use a nutsert. And then, same thing here. Alrighty, there is the one hole that we drilled for the rear strap. You can see it's kind of close to that rubber grommet. Up front here, there is actually a little bump with a little provision. There we go. Right there. So we just drilled that dead center. What is going on, guys? It is day 4. See, I'm already doing a little bit of work. So last night, day 3, I didn't do a whole lot. Basically just mocked up that gas tank and marked where I had to drill some holes. So today, instead of getting the car this far off the ground so my jack will reach, called in the reinforcements. Mr. Nick Baggio is here. He is my brother. He's just gonna give me a hand real quick before he gets some lunch with some friends. He's gonna give me a hand dropping that gas tank and then getting it back up in its place. We also need to drill the hole for the lift pump access plate underneath the rear seat. So we're gonna drop the gas tank, get that hole drilled, get our nutserts put in, and then get the gas tank put in permanently where it's gonna live forever. Underneath of our Golf GTI, we have an all-wheel drive Golf R gas tank. So underneath here, you can see, once again, on the passenger side of the car, there was an OEM threaded hole here and at the top of the strap. So the passenger side of the gas tank, no modifications needed. This strap bolts and lines right up. And the same is going to go for all of the fuel filler neck goodies. The only thing worth mentioning is this evap line right here that goes from the corner of the frame rail up to the fuel filler neck. This is from the Golf R. It just fits a little bit better. I could have modified the stock GTI one, but since I had this at my disposal, use that instead. Over here on the driver's side, there is our rear strap mount that we marked and drilled last night. So we got that widened out, and we have a nutsert installed there with an M8 bolt. And then the same goes for there. This is the front of the strap on the driver's side. That is where that little provision was, just no hole drilled. So that one was pretty easy to identify and drill. The rear just took a little bit more kind of measuring and planning. And then we got our OEM tunnel exhaust mount that we have back in its place. hole that I had to cut out for the lift pump access cover, and I also do have the OEM plastic cover somewhere in this garage. So got that all cut out roughly with the angle grinder, and then I went back with a die grinder and cleaned it up, and then treated all the exposed metal with Steelit, so that way this will not rust. And now we've got access to our electrical connector for the lift pump, and that is also where the union for the Haldex wiring harness is going to live. That's all going to live underneath here. So now we got that just how it would be on an all-wheel drive car. All right, you guys, I think that is where I'm going to leave you off on this video. Currently waiting on my welding friend to show up. We're going to get all that stuff welded onto the car, so that way when I return from a brief vacation in which I leave on Thursday, when I return from that, we can hit the ground running and start slapping all the parts back onto our all-wheel drive GTI. So really hope you guys enjoyed this video. As you can see, I'm in the middle of editing it right now, so please, if you will, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you can tell a difference in the image quality, in the just kind of the timeline of everything. I've been trying really, really hard to get a hold of how to use this editing software and how to use this camera, and I think I'm finally starting to kind of get the hang of it. So if you guys notice a difference, and if you enjoy it, or if you have any recommendations on what to do differently, please let me know in the comments below. And once again, a tremendous shout out to Eurotuning for supporting this channel, and to Powerflex for sending out those bushings. You guys are the best, and I really appreciate it, and I absolutely cannot wait to feel the difference that y'all have made on this car here in a very short bit once we finally get it on the road. And until then, I will see y'all later.